It's not my fault, Lester. Say it. Say the words. Say it. We keep complaining about the wind, but I actually think something just fell right in front of me. I actually think that this might be the worst day. And we have a huge project to do, like huge. I gotta put my hair in a ponytail. This is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I've never had so many challenges before.
What?
Okay. Now we're ready for business.
Go. All right, so we need 2 at 70 inches each. Do you have a pen or a pencil on you?
Negative, Ghost Rider. Sure don't. Y'all, this is the proudest moment of any project that I've ever done with Amaro, because you know why? He's using a square. This is so un-Maro of you. There wasn't even the body part that you used to measure it. This is a big deal.
All right, now you're making fun of the Maros.
No, just you, babe, just you.
He's using his knee as a board.
Ah, there's the Maro moment right there. Using his leg. Oh my God. This is what not to do. What not to do. Exactly. Oh, and suddenly there's a whole stack of wood behind you to put that on. What do you know about that? Huh. Okay, so today is a little bit of a frustrating day because Lester and I are out here finishing a job. And you might ask, why on earth? We thought you guys had a fence guy. Well, funny thing about that fence guy, and I'm not here to dog people, okay? I'm not dissing people, I'm not dogging people, but if there's one thing that I have learned in my life, is to rely on the things that you can control and to stress about the things you can control. And by the way, the only thing that you can control is your reaction and how you respond to the things in life. So, 2 boards missing there, few boards missing down there. So what we're doing is putting the final boards on the fence. The fence guy, he's kind of new at business, or at least that's my take. That's my explanation, and that's the one that I can live with. But the fence guy did not finish this whole project. Maybe he had intentions of doing it, but our timeline is now. So we're out here finishing this project up, and I get it to an extent. He underestimated how many boards he needs. There were only about 20 more that were needed. And having that delivered out here for that little amount and then sending extra guys to come finish it is probably not first on his priority list. But it still has to be done. You're not finished until you're finished. Like, if that's one life lesson that I was taught from very early on, is don't half-ass anything. If you're gonna do a job, do the job. Neither here nor there. If I let little things like that consume me and become the root of my stress and the things that I think about, I'm never going to get anything accomplished. And quite frankly, I don't have time to not get things accomplished because I'm in the business of getting things done. So, Lester and I are going to finish the fence to the greatest of our capabilities today because it's in the process of being stained. I just walked you down the path of the top of the hill, and now I'm walking backwards to the beginning where you can see it's a different color. And it's going to be beautiful. So, here we go today on the finishing project. The finishing fencing project? I can't even say it 3 times in a row. Let's go. Looking good.
Hey, baby, back up from over here and just tell me if it looks like when it looks straight.
Okay.
We're not using a level because we're on uneven ground.
I think you got to go up a little bit. down. There.
Right there.
Look at that. I think you just might have used the knee to level to measure that one out.
On this kind of terrain, you can't use your head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Oh boy, here we go. So, you know, Lester and I, obviously you're no strangers to fencing, but the terrain out here, the terrain is a little, okay, unplum grove-like, right? It is quite hilly, is the best term I can use. So we started the fencing and got really nervous because we were a little out of our league, so we thought we'd call a professional because, well, we're not professional.
I actually had an entire, I felt like it was a video series on that.
Yes.
And I say a series because it felt like for an entire week, I kept talking and talking about the terrain, the hills.
Yes.
Because I was so out of my league.
Yes.
And it was on my mind. It was pressing on my mind. And it was the first time I dealt with something I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, we've dealt with a little slope here and there, and we actually dug out the ground to keep the fence level. Do you remember doing that mess? That was a lot of work, actually.
What you should tie into your video is whenever I did that little multi-step level fence. But no, we have played around with slight elevations, but never.
But it was significant, and it mattered so much in a perfection standpoint because it's both sides, it's symmetrical.
Yeah.
And that's where we were like,
yeah, we called in back up on us over here, and it was the worst thing we could have ever done.
Yeah, don't say it's the worst thing we could have ever done. It's just frustrating.
We got shafted, Jamie. We got shafted. We got a guy that promised us the world and did not deliver. And here we are trying to finish up job that this fella couldn't do. So can I say one thing real fast?
Okay.
I know it's your video, but we've talked a lot about, we've bragged a lot on certain contractors. And others we may never mention. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to shame anybody. But if you ever notice a job being done that we don't talk about, that right there should tell you that there's no way we're going to endorse or promote certain people, certain businesses. And it would be easy to walk down his driveway and point out every flaw and everything.
That's not how we are, though.
But that's not what we're going to do.
No.
So you better shut me up. You better shut me up.
I have a
Because
great.
I've been ranting the whole week to you.
Hey, listen, I have a great editing tool. It's going to be fine. What Lester meant to say is we are grateful for the lessons that we have learned and experiences in hiring people that we don't know. There? Is that good?
Yeah, it's just always a risk. It's a gamble. It's a gamble.
All right, well, let's get gambling here with our lives and finishing this fence. So, in the words of Jake, we're going to work tomorrow, not harder. Is that how that goes?
I don't know what that means.
I'm not real sure what it means, but in my world, it's work smarter, not harder. And we have to get these boards halfway down the driveway. And Lester had a brilliant idea. That's right, I'm giving him all the credit on this one. Hey, let's put the boards in the back of the truck and drive them down and then cut them to be sure that we aren't mismeasuring or doing something incorrect. I'm telling y'all, the lessons not only come from the people, if it comes from all of the jobs we've done too. Oh my gosh, the wind! Want to see something crazy? Look at the top of this tree. Look at that thing sway. They're all bending and swaying and crazy day out here. So 16-foot boards and an 8-foot bed. No, not gonna work out. Plan B. Here we are with plan B. It wouldn't be a project if we didn't have to try different things. That's all I'll say. Here's my hero now. Coming in hot. Saving the day.
Girl.
I thought you had it.
Let me win.
Okay, so this right here is a little bit of a mess. Initially, we had plans for a gate. However, we have since changed plans, and there will be no gate right here, which is fine. The angle did not, it's not gonna work out. So, my question is, are we gonna stretch wire across this space?
I'm not gonna worry about that now.
Okay.
We'll just get it closed off.
Alrighty, here we go. Oh, look at that. For some reason, I thought that angle was supposed to be there. I see it. It's a brace so that when they pulled the wire, it actually would not allow the post to bend. Smart.
She wanted to do it. I didn't make her. She wanted to.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Everything is power tools.
This is looking pretty good. You know, one thing we should talk about is the guy who's doing the stain, Deontay. Everyone knows Deontay. He's done a lot of jobs for us. And Deontay is doing the stain, him and his wife. And this looks amazing.
Okay, left side, she's a little patchy, but only in color. Don't worry, we'll get her stained tomorrow, but this side is finished. Next up, right side. All right, it's all patched up, but I gotta show you a little blunder, okay? So,
Blunder my ass.
okay, it's a big blunder, but there's no other solution. Here's the reason. I'm pretty sure that the fence guy said, I'm out. Okay, see that wave? You're not, you're not imagining the wave. It's not my fault, Lester. Say it. Say the words. Say it.
It's no one's fault except for us not realizing the terrain right through here and how there's a slab of concrete
Yes.
right up next to that culvert that we can't dig through.
So there's only just barely enough space for those two posts.
So can I say a little bit simpler?
Yes.
So our plan was to have a 16-foot wide driveway. So from the road all the way up, we got 16-foot wide.
Yes.
Problem when we get to the culvert right here is all of a sudden the culvert has about that much slab of concrete coming down each side of it.
Yes.
And so our post could not go to as far out as we had to, so we had to kind of come in a dab.
Just a smidge.
And so that is.
It's not so bad from right here. It's not terrible. But
I'm moving your camera a little bit. Jamie, look at that. Now, of course, whenever it's all got the stain on it, it might not be as obvious.
it's a little wavy. She's got a little motion. That's what I'll say. And well, it was the only solution. I did get a little crafty, okay? And I see that we need to get just a smidge more crafty. These boards that were split halfway down throughout that spacing, we added an extra piece too. Now once that's stained, you won't see it, but it reduced the wave on those boards. See, this one, much smoother than what you're looking at right here. So my vote is to go back to where these are split and bring this out a little bit more, but we'll wait till it's stained and see what it looks like. I think that's what we'll end up doing, and that will help tremendously. And we might have to do it on the other side where it comes back in as well, but there was no other way to put post here and to maintain the integrity of the fence itself. It's gonna be okay, babe. It's gonna be okay.
I'm just all about the spatial reasoning, Jamie.
I know. Now you're gonna hate coming home, or hate coming to Longhorn Lester's now because of this spot.
I'll just use the service drive.
Oh gosh. Well, this side of the fence is complete.
And saying so, look at the beginnings of our dam on the service drive. See the red clay?
I do.
Now that's going to be concreted over with, and they'll use crushed concrete coming off.
I'm gonna show a little perspective so they don't just think it's like flat land right here.
Yeah, so there will actually water will flow over that.
Right.
A heavy rain.
So I'm standing in the driveway right now, and I'm looking down about 15, 16 foot. So that is the dam. It will be lined with rock and concrete and what they call riprap. So that way, when our pond gets too full and the water has to overflow the spillway, aka the levee or the dam or the berm, whatever you want to call it, the service drive. I'll show you here. I'm climbing up. Oh boy. This has to get rock and concrete and everything on top of it as well. But this will be the pond. So, if the water goes above this level and crosses this levee, dam, spillway, whatever you want to say, then it'll come over to this side and it will go down in a slow fashion to a culvert that then goes out through the woods and heads south towards the river. This has a lot more work to be done with, like I said, riprap and concrete and rock. My vision, and I talked to Lester about this a while ago and he didn't see it. However, I think today he sees it. I would like this to have a waterfall. Not like a pour over waterfall, but like stairs, like landscaped stairs. So number one, it looks pretty, but number two, that it slows the water down even more and just provides a really neat landscape where we can also landscape out sideways and make it beautiful. And he laughed and giggled because he's like, Jamie, the longhorns are coming here. Yeah, well, I like it. We'll see what happens. Regardless though, our fencing is complete for today. This side can't be finished until all the tractor work gets done and all this rock gets brought back in. And we're out of boards anyway. Lester counted perfectly, just for that side. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on the fun fence finishing project. I said it and I said it right. Woo! Time for a drink.